Testing. All right. Uniform Freight Classification 6000 Rules and Regulations. Shipping Containers Rule 40 continued, starting from the top. Section 10 concluded. Note that the following statement exemption the definitions are applicable to the requirement of the paragraphs A and C for the conformance with the applicable requirement of the table A, B, C, D, F, and G. It will be established by the consuming comparing some of the basis weight with the test over the wall with the required with the construction of the bag with the respect with some of the weight of the test for the paper to compromise with the wall of the bag requirements in the table of the paper's conduction of the condition with the atmosphere head with the relative humidity of 50% plus minus 2% with the temperature at 23 degrees Celsius plus or minus 1 degree Celsius. Following the precondition with the atmosphere head with the relative humidity of 10 and 35% of the temperature of the 22% of the 40 degrees Celsius head to determine the compliant with the bearing strength requirements must be made with the testing machine not modified with the reduce the friction between the test specimen and the components parts testing the machine test determined to comply with the tensile strength requirements must be made with the pendulum testing type of the tensile testing machine. Exemption bags construction of the wholly and part of the part of paper for the other type of the basis weight than those listed in table A, B, C, D, and F and G. Most conform with the requirements of paragraph C is asphalt laminated craft paper shall consist of the two sheets of the craft paper within the total base of the weight with the two sheets not less than 50 pounds with the ream of 24 by 36 by 500 continuously uniform laminated together with an average not less than 25 pounds of asphalt per ream. The total length of the minimum of 5% will be allowed with the individual components and determine the test conformance of the bags containing with the asphalt laminated plane with the establishing the craft wall with the asphalt laminated plane with the extensible with the craft of the wall sheet with the tree with again single plane with the extensible craft wall with a combination of the wall with the 10 pounds lower basis weight with the sum of the nominal paper base weight asphalt laminated wall with a no case for the shell be treated with less than the equivalent of 50 pound base weight wall for the purpose of computing the minimum number of the walls required for the asphalt laminated wall should be constructed one with a wet strength when the wet strength of the paper you have to move with a distinctly marked with the identification with a longitudinal string stripe with the stripe safe not less than 2 inches apart with more than 10 inches in center with the centers across the paper with no outer wall with the identification must appear with the external surface of the bag. Base weight. The base weight of the paper, the weight of the pound with the proper air by the paper machine over the air, the equivalent ream with the 500 sheet with the 24 by 36 inch if it does not include the weight of the coatings, printing, and laminates, and pregnant. Tolerance minimum is 5%. 5% with the permitted with the sum of the base for the weight with all the walls specified within the sack with the variation except for the speed of the base over the weight with all concluded derived commodities for the purpose of the rule of the derived commodities. Those are not liquid which do not contain any free liquid. Certification. Unless otherwise provided, paper bags conform with the foregoing specifications. Specific package number must be bear with the certificate in the bag maker with the sheet paragraph. Either the chart that do not conform. The certificate must be following size 1 1/4 inch by 3 with the type of the word except with the size may be varied, not exceeding 1/4 inch in either both directions. Freight shipping ban. Meet the requirements for applicable to freight classification guaranteed by paper bags made with the foreign country with the freight import with the United States conforming with all the provisions of Rule 40. Need not to have the certificate of the bag maker printed on thereon. The bag maker certificate may be printed in the language of the country in which it was made, provided with the shipper certificate on the bill's landing of the bags do so conform. The certificate of the paper bags may bear with the identification symbol, the trademark of the bag, and the marker in lieu of the bag markers naming provided with the symbol and trademark registered with the National Railroad Freight Committee. One only individual identifying symbol of the trademark may be registered for each for the bag manufacturer. See Rule 2440 continued. All right, low density polyethanol bag, section 10.4 10 1/4, wear bag with multiple multiple wall bags. Paper bags are provided with a separation description article to be shipped contained with the bag meeting the requirements for this section may use the dry commodities. Dry commodities are those which are not liquid, which do not contain any free liquid materials. Requirements specification bags must be construed with the low density polyethanol filing minimum requirements. And then it gives you ASTM refers to the American Society of Testing Materials. Note that the thickness at any point not less than 90% of the nominal thickness. Performance requirement to fill with the bags will comply with the withstanding with a 6 drop with a height of the 48 inch if it's solid, sir. If it's 1 drop on each end, 1 drop on each face, 1 on the drop on each side edge without rupture or leakage. Closure of the bag may securely close the carry content safely. Prevent the shifting of the enclosure. Must be capable of withstanding static loads of 1 1/4 pounds per mil per inch of seal. Certification bags conform with the foregoing specifications must bear the certificate bag maker stating that they do conform. Certificate certificate may be bear with the identification symbol, the trademark of the bag, of the lube, of the bag maker's name, of the provider, the symbol and trademark registered for the National Railroad Freight Committee. One of the only identifying symbol with the trademark may be registered for each bag manufacturer. Certificate must be for the following side with the 1 1/4 inch by 3 inches. The type of the word, except for the side that may vary, not exceeding 1/4 inch in either both directions. Low density and polyethanol freight shipping bag meets requirement of applicable freight classification guaranteed by. Alright, cross-laminated density polyethanol bag, section 10.5. Where the bags, multiple wall bags, paper bag, provided with a separate description and article for the out of the ship to contain the bags meet with the requirements of the section must be used with the dry combined with the dry combined of those not liquid and do not comply contain any free liquid. Material requirements of specification bags must be constructed with a high-density polyethanol film consisting of the two plies monoaxial orientated film cross-laminated so that the orientation at each ply is the angle of the other laminated film complying with the following manner requirements. ASTM refers to American Society testing material with a note of the thickness of the point with it must not be less than 80% of the nominal thickness. Performance requirements: filled bag must be capable of withstanding 6 drops at a height of 48 inches off onto a solid surface down and drop it in with the one of the drop at each face with 1 drop on each side without rupture of the leakage. Closure of the bag. Closure bags must be secured closely to carry the content safely and prevent sifting. Certification bags conforming foregoing specification must certify a certificate bag maker with a stating with a do not conform certificate may identify the symbol of the trademark of the bag, mark of the loop of the bag with the maker's name, providing symbol of the trademark registered with the National Railroad Freight Committee. One of the identifying symbol of the trademark may be registered. Each bag of the manufacturer's certificate must file with the following form. Size 1 1/4 by 3 inches for the top of the word, except for the side with the may vary, not exceeding 1/4 inch on either both directions. Cross-laminated polyethanol freight shipping bag meet the requirements of applicable freight classification guaranteed by. Spun bound high density polyethanol bag of 10 3/4 where the bag multiple wall with the paper bags are provided with a separate description and article for the outer shipping containers bag. Meeting with the requirement that the section may be used with the dry combined with the dry combined of those or what is not liquid that do not contain any free liquid material requirement specification bags content that exceed 55 pounds must be constructed super spun bound with a high density polyethanol complying with the following minimum requirements: thickness of 4.7 mils, base weight of 2.07 ounces per square yard, tensile strength of 25 pounds per inch width, impact resistant ASTM D3420, procedure B 19 inch pounds per square inch. ASTM refers to the American Society testing materials. Performance requirements: filled bags must be capable of withstanding 6 drops with a height of 48 inches onto a solid surface on 1 drop at each end, 1 drop at each face, 1 drop on each side of the edge without rupture or leakage. Closure bags must be closed over the carry content safely, preventing shifting. Certification bags performing the foregoing must bear the certificate bag maker with a state with it they do not conform. Certificate of their identifying symbol of the trademark of the bag maker with the lube of the bag maker's name of the providing symbol of the trademark of the register with the National Railroad Freight Committee. Only identifying symbol of the trademark may be derived to each bag manufacturer. The certificate must be following the form. Size 1 1/4 inch to 3 inch top of the board. Except for the size may not vary with the 1/4 inch either both directions. Super bound polyethanol freight shipping bag meets requirements of applicable freight classification guaranteed by. Section 1, application of the rate. Subject to the provision of Rule 5 unless otherwise provided with a separate description article for the agent CL Taylor's tariff number BOE 6000 series referred to the Rule 930 down with the rates applying with the articles in the box will apply with the same article with corrugated solid fiberboard boxes complying with the minimum requirements of this rule. Increased charge of the non-conforming box unless otherwise provided separate description and article of the articles intent with the transportation fiberboard boxes and the requirement specification of the rules now fully comply with the freight charge but to be increased for 20% of any quantity, 10% of the clearing carrier load above the charge for the applicable with such shipment the box for the to conform with the provision of this rule. Use other than Rule 41 boxes with a separate description and article for the provided with the fiberboard board box with the different those provided with the rules. Such provisions will apply with those articles with such boxes with the commodity tariff except for the classification provided that such articles may be shipped in boxes without further qualification construction of the box's fiberboard. Section 2, corrugated fiberboard. Fiberboard boxes must be made a single wall, double the wall, triple the wall, corrugated fiberboard with having proper bending, the quality of the facing being firmly glued with the corrugated medium all points of contact outer facing with the water resistant solid fiberboard. Fiberboard boxes must be 3 plies more than solid fiberboard having the proper bending quality with all plies being firmly glued together. The outer ply being water resistant except for the medium weight. Maximum weight of the box contents do not exceed 40 pounds. Boxes may be made of 2 ply solid fiberboard. Box specification section 3, maximum size weight minimum requirements of boxes must comply with the burst puncture, edge crush, and test and other requirements shown in seat note number 4. Corrugated or solid boxes, fiberboard boxes, Rule 41. Section 3 concluded. Note that test 1 proceed with the bird test of the test to determine the compliance with the bursting test requirement must be conducted in accordance with the test technical association the pulp of the paper the industry official test T810 minimum 6 birth must be made for each of the side of the board. Only one of the birth tests will be permitted to file below with a specific minimum value. The board failing with the path of the foregoing test will accept the retesting consisting of 24 bursts, 12 on each side of the board, no more than 4 bursts for the test will fall below the specified minimum value. Your puncture test. Test is to determine the compliance with the puncture test requirement that must conduct with the corn for the technical association pulp and paper industry official test method T803. Minimum of the 4 puncture for the test must be made. Only 1 puncture test will be permitted to fall below the specified minimum value. Edge crush test. Determinative of the compliance with the edge for the crust conduct with the corn for the technical association pulp of the paper of the industry with the official test method T811 A or B with the maximum 6 tests must be made only with the test permitted to fall below with the specified minimum value, and 1 test cannot fall below with the specified minimum value more than 10% of the board failing path of the foregoing with except for the retesting condition. Consisting of 24 tests, no more than 4 tests will fall below with the specified minimum value. None of these tests will fall below with the specified minimum value more than 10%. Note 2. The minimum combined weight of the facing with the specified with the table that do not apply with the connection of the base board complying with the minimum edge crush test. The combination of the facing established with the provided with the base weight with the facing with the combination with the corrugated minimum medium of the position produced for the corrugated fiber board that will comply with the applicable medium edge crush requirements. Note 3. Section existing formula with the weight of the box and contents listed with the maximum weight that's shown with the maximum outside dimension of the box that may be increased with the percent of the actual weight of the loft less for the maximum weight specified in section 10.3. Note 3. Note 4. Alternate requirements for the requirements commodity with the description numbered pack with the specified the box for the container tray with the component for the part that may be corrugated with the fiber board to have the minimum burst puncture test shown in the column A below the box for the container tray for the components parts may be made corrugated fiber board having minute edge crush test is shown in the column B. The alternate provision except for the weight, base weight requirements. Box style, section 4. The following description of the general style of the fiber board box, conventional slotting, including inlet loading box for the box is from the one piece of the fiber board, score for the slide with the form of the body having the flap with the closing each of the 2 opposite with the length of the flaps, either map with the overlap of the inner flap with the maybe depending on the particular cell of the box, RSC, CSCC, OSC, CSO, FOL, SFF. Slide style boxes are assembled with more than one piece of the fiber board and have only one closing face. Telescopic boxes. Full telescope of the box can shift the body to cover the section from the equal depth of the covering extent of the bottom of the FTHF of FTD. With the dorsal telescope box for the depth of the body covering section unequal to the depth of the covering section and extent of the overside of the box section not less than 2/3 of the depth of the bottom section PTHS and PTD. Boxes with cover. The single cover of the box can shift the body with the cover of the section extending with the overside of the box section less than 2/3 of the depth of the body HSC the DSC. The double cover boxes consist of the joined tube body within top of the bottom with cover of the cover the extension from the over the body with the interlocking covering box with the consist of the joint tube of the body with the top of the bottom 3-inch flame with the top of the bottom cover the outer flame with the interlock of the flange in the tube. The triple side with the double line side boxes give the 3 of 2 with the arrangement that provide with the least of the 2 with the thickness of the fiber board of all space the TS folder the box extension with the more cut core piece that provide with the unbroken out of the bottom of the strip of the length flap out of the flap that must meet overlap. One piece of the folder is constructed with a single piece of the fiber board. 2 pieces of the folder constructed with 2 rectangular piece of the fiber board provide with the double thickness of the fiber board at the bottom 2 PF. 3 pieces of fiber board constructed with 3 rectangular piece of the fiber board 5 panel 4 with on board with the box form single cover the second piece of the fiber board is provided with the unbroken store single thickness of the fiber board 3 or 6 of the surface usually double thickness time of the remaining 3 surfaces of the box is recessed and back of the box is assembled in the scored body with the tube with the 2 flange end piece with the forming the recessed end with the screw of the body with the staple of the screw of not more than 2 inches apart. Manufacturer's joint. Sections 5. Single wall, double the wall, corrugated fiber board boxes must have the manufacturer's joint form to the left side of the boxing form. The joint not less than 1 1/4 inch of the mass of the joint with the one of the following method. The metal staples with the stitches with the space with more than 2.5 inches apart, except for the staples of the stitches must be spaced with not more than 1 inch apart with the weight of the box and contents of 140 pounds or more. The firm gluing with the joint with throughout the entire area with the contact with the water that's resistant to the heat of the box. Fixing about the butting the edge of the form of the joint close together, screwing the sealing strip of the glue with the box with the extent of the entire length of the joint with the sealing strip that must be in the sufficient strength that the rupture of the joint occur with the fiber of the four or one or more of the facing. The concealing strip of the block with the not exceed 65 pound with a gross weight with a two complete single wall corrugated box with not less than 2 inches with the must be not less than 60 pound with a burst on 3,000 square feet with the basis with the weight half of the bursting strength with a not less than 60 pound. Is a ceiling strip that must be reinforced with the glass fiber with the natural synthetic fiber. The ceiling strip of the box exceeds 65 pounds with the gross weight extending the accepting of the two complete single of the wall with the congregated fiber box with the must be and the two more ply with the not less than 3 inches wide over the not less than 150 pounds with the pier 3,000 square feet base with the weight with a heaven the bursting strength but not less than 150 psi lesser base weight is permissible. Ceiling strip that reinforced with the glass fiber the other natural synthetic fiber that all ply that must be firmly glued together. Triple wall corrugated fiber board boxes have the manufactured joint securely with the one of the following method by lamping the boxing form of the joint not less than 2 inches of the fastening of the joints with the metal staple the stitch with the space not more than 1 inch apart with the both side of the joint must be crushed for hold in the area of contact before stapling and stitching. By lapping either side of the box with the forms of the not less than 3 inches of the firm glue joint with throwing the entire area of the contact with the glue adhesive cannot be dissolved in water after the firm application has been dried under pressure. Alright, Section 5, concluded, solid fiber board. Most boxes of the manufactured joint secured with one of the following method. The lapping side of the box formed with the net less than 1/4 inch of fastening joint with the metal strip with the stipple stitches with the space with not more than 3 inches apart with the length of the joint with exceed with the 18 inch of the staple stitches must be spaced not more than 2.5 inches apart. By lapping the side of the boxing formed the joint not less than 2 inches with the extension of the lap not less than 3 inches of the beyond with the top of the bottom with the score line firmly gluing the joint through the entire area with the contact with the water adhesive resistant. Note that the provision Section 5 allow for the joint with the effect of the wrapped around blanks of the processor for the other blank manufactured glassware, fragile article of the glass and earthenware. Section 6. Glassware for the fragile article of the glassware with other fragile article of the glassware, the earthenware contained with the plate must be placed in compliance with the following. The maximum weight of the box contents must not exceed 65 pounds. Fragile article of the empty with the glass containers must be packed with the line with the partition wrapped with accessory exceeder of the other protective material with the afford with the protective adequate protection against the breakage of the laminate of the other contents completely with the fill box. Chinaware, earthenware, glassware with the not include with the glass and contain with the article of the glass for the earthen contain with the mark packed with the fiberboard box with complying with the Rule 41 with the must scrape with the same with the drop testament procedure for the American Testing Society of the Testing Material with the same D4169 with the element A with the assurance level of 3 without damaged content. Article of glassware and the container of the packaging must comply with the provisions of paragraph 1 through 11 and paragraph the minimum package requirement of the paragraph C, D, E, and F, and G. Maximum weight of the boxes must be filled with the glass of the earthenware container must not exceed 65 pounds. Contents must be packed with the active if completely filled with the boxes. 3. Liquid article with the other liquid individual gas of the earthen container with exceeding 1 gallon of 4-liter capacity will not be accepted in fiberboard boxes. The next weight with the product with the specified with the paragraph C with the overdose ounce of the single corrugated with the fiber box with the partition show with the line of the pad with the C, A, and T flute. Construction except for the container if they have not yet net weight with the product with the not exceeding 35 ounces may have the show with the component with the B flute with the corrugated fiber box container type of the net weight with the product with the not exceeding 25 ounces made with the protection with the E flute corrugated fiberboard. 6. Double the wall corrugated fiberboard may have the combination of A, B, or C flute with the facing corrugated medium in line with the pad with the portion shovel that must not weigh less than 26 pounds with a rest of 1,000 square feet. Partition in the box must not be left with the full shoulder height of the glass of the earthen containers. The shovel must be full inside with the height of the box with each of the glassware earthenware container must be protected by individual shell. Except for the otherwise provided that all the bottom pad with the must have the full size bottom dimension of the boxes. 11. Glass and earthenware containers must be single with a layer in the in boxes. C. The minimum requirements fiberboard filled glass with earthenware container with liquid and article with liquid. Articles other than liquid must comply with the following minimum requirements. Section 6 concluded. Outer box for the ABC for the single wall with the corrugated fiber box for the AC for the single for the wall for the corrugated fiber box for the double wall corrugated fiber boxes. E. The interior separators adequate for the protection against the break of the damage with other line with partition for the pack with the material with partition solid with the bottom of the board with the 40,000 that's 120 pounds per 1,000 square feet of base weight. 14. Partition solid paper board 147,000 inch thick and 142 pounds 1,000 square feet base. Partition 4. E. Flue with the corrugated fiber board partition ABC flue single wall corrugated fiber board single portions A and C for the flue with single wall corrugated fiber board portions D double the wall corrugated fiber board shelf with A, B, and C flute with single wall corrugated fiber board shelf with A and C flute with single wall corrugated fiber board shelf with double the wall corrugated fiber board individual inner paper board box with individual inner single wall corrugated fiber boxes. 23 individual inner box with A and C flute, single wall corrugated fiber board, bottom protection, bottom inner and outer box flaps meet with both a fill-in pad, plug-in pad, same board, the max box with the fill space between the inner and bottom flap. At the bottom is a pad with the A, B, and C flute, single the corrugated fiber board, bottom A pad A and C flute, single the board, corrugated fiber board, bottom pad D, double the wall corrugated fiber board, bottom pad. Solid paper board, 40,000 inch for 142 pounds per 1,000 square feet, with a bottom pad with a solid paper board, 2 inches for the thickness, each with a 24,000 inch over the 100 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Box liners, 41 liner A and C flute, single wall corrugated fiber board, sifting and leakage. Section 7 and each is covered the other, provided with the section 6 for the all articles, the lab of the lesson, and the sifting of the leakage, but there must be in a container completing the filling of the box. Handhold, vent holes, and opening device and perforation. Section 8, with the provide with the box strength, with the not impaired with the box, with the may have with the handhold, with the ventilation hole, with the may have more than one slit, with the more than one slot within each of the inner flap, with the addition with the facility opening of the box, with the have one of the following maybe perforated, one runs around with the line of the perforation, each of the final face panel perforated with a straight line, may have not more than 20 line, 2 line with the perforation, provided with a total line, an inch of the line with the perforation, not exceeding the twice for the sum of the combination for the two inside with the dimension for the length, with the width and depth. The one face panel with a one step closing flap with the may have the lift line with the perforations with the preferred with the total lineal inch for the source of the line with the perforations with the next with the total united inch box. For any of the alternative subparagraph, the 1 through 3 corrugated medium boxes crushed for the otherwise damaged. For D, the boxes number of the package contained with the rigid self of the supporting article the containers may have the scoring line with the corrugated with the provided the united inch length with the width, the depth of the add with the next 40 inches. Closing boxes, section 9. Boxes must be securely closed with the method adequate strength with the quantities to add for the main team of the box properly assemble the closing during transportation. Section certification box manufacturer. Section 10. Boxes. The boxes are made to comply with the requirement. The rule must be paired with the legible certificate of the box manufacturer outside of the certificate guarantee with the boxes. Do so comply with the certificate must conform with the size of 3-inch diameter plus or minus 1/4 inch. The type of the working illustrated with the subparagraphs 2 and 3 with the notes 1 and 2 and 3 with the city and the state may either be the manufacturer, corporate location. Sample the certificate applicable to may be comply with the burst and puncture test. Show that these are the corrugated fiber board puncture tests. Section 10, continue boxes example, the certificate applicable to the box that comply with the edge of the crush test. And then, note 1, reduce the diameter of small box with the line of the box, have the length of less than 10 inches, the width of the less than 9 inches. The above certificate may reduce the size of the size of the diameter not less than 2 inches. Note 2, the box with the number, the pack of the made with the foreign country for the fiberboard box with complying with the vision for the rule number, the box for the author of the paragraph, page 101, succeeding the page of classification, which made with the foreign country for the U of the freight with the imported for the United States of America. Need not to be bear a certificate. The certificate may be printed with the link with the country with the box with the number of the packet that is made with the provide with the ship of the certificate with the bill, playing with the must comply with the Rule 41 appropriated number of the package. Section 10 concluded. A box with the concluded number. Note 7. Note 3. Side with the extension for the form and the 4 with the box must be complied with the note 3 with the section 3 with the side limit, the gross weight limit that may be admitted with the certificate biola. The certificate must be printed inside with the extension formula. Numbered pack with the numbered package authorized page 101 and 16 of the page with the classification containing the provision with the specifying with the box containing strain with the component with the air over the tab to be made with the fiberboard complying with the burst test, the puncture test, edge crush test, and other requirements. Section 3 must be bear with the legible certificate of the box manufacturer outside of the strip with the informed with the size 2 then 3.5 inches plus or minus a quarter inch the type of the word illustrating either subparagraph 2 and 3 the city state either have the manufacturer corporation location the number of the packages specified different testing of the fiberboard by the cap testifies need only to be shown in notes 2 and 4 with the example of the certificate applicable to the number of packets could contain with the provision requirement complying with the burst test and puncture test. Show that the package certification of the box meets all of the construction requirements applicable to freight classification package number the bursting test pounds per square inch of the box and its manufacturing city and state. Example of the certificate applicable to the number of packets which are contained with the provision requiring compliance with the package of the box must obey all the requirements of applicable to freight classification freight package number the edge crush pound for the box manufacturer city and state. Note 4, when numbered package have a length of less than 10 inches with a width less than 9 inches with the certificate may be reviewed but outside of the dimension there must be not less than 2 1/4 to 1 1/4 inches. Definition for the term. Section 11. The following definition of the apply with regard to the construction of the U of the fiberboard, by the number of the packet with the component with the arrow, with the bending, with the term of the proper bending, with the quantity of the container board must be capable of the bending along with the creep of the score with the line with the foam with the block with the container of the board would not be ruptured at the point where the seam of the block weakens block. Weekends of the box. For the box, seal the fiberboard bar, the rich container that has closed face for the complete and the enclosing over the contents for the term of the U of the classification 65 of the fiberboard box. U of such a fiberboard box must comply with the rule requirements 41. Box manufacturer, corrugated solid fiberboard manufactured by the establishments leave the equivalent score for the slot with the frame of the joint. Corrugated with the solid fiberboard chief of the box with equipment that regulated utilized for the production of the fiberboard for the commercial quantity, the bursting strength for the strength of the material exposed with the pound per square inch, the limits for the Mullen tester. Section 3, note 1A. Corrugated board, a structure formed with the one with more paper board face for the one or more corrugated members of the unit to make it. Corrugated fiberboard box and product. Single face. The structure formed with the one corrugated member of the glue for one flat face. Single the wall. The structure formed with the one corrugated inner member of the glue with between two flat facings. Double the wall. The structure formed with the three flat facing, two intermediate corrugated members. Triple wall. The structure formed with the four flat facing, three intermediate corrugated members. The corrugation medium the paperboard. You the flue with the portion of the corrugated fiberboard. Corrugation C flute die cap. The cup made with the steel rule die with the acting part of the container with the cup with the score with the shape with the such tool for the low you with the denote with the board with the means of the die cut the dimension. Length, the largest two dimension for the open favor. The width, lesser of the two dimension for the open favor. The distance between the inner surface of the box is measured perpendicularly in length of the width. The edge crust test. Also known as the edgewise compression test or short column crush test, the must be for the edge for the compression strength of the short column of the corrugated fiberboard, the property for the combination of the caliper combined of the board, combined board parameter of the container relief for the top and the bottom convention strength of the corrugated fiberboard box achieving seen section 3, note 1C facing, sometimes here initially called the liner to formerly liner board or either the flat member of the corrugated fiberboard fiber and fiberboard box contain made either coordinator solid forward whatever the classification purpose determine the box sheet for the structure must comply with the requirements of rule 41. Flap. For the closing member of the fiberboard box, for the fluid corrugation, one of the wave shape of the U of the corrugated meat, the glue firmly, firm gluing indicate with the mutilation of the surface of the fiberboard, accompanying the separation of the joint areas. Joint. Manufactured joint of the joint is part of the box for the end of the sheet with the joint with the together with the tapping and switching with the gluing with the liner, creep of the fiberboard sheet with the insert with the container with the covering of all side wall of the packaging. Refer to the fiberboard containing the container, not necessarily complying with the requirement of Rule 41 for the box. Section 1C, Rule 5. There is one with the special life alpha for the containers to describe the detailed classification, checking the authorized package shipping the containers. Pad a corrugated solid fiberboard sheet with the unauthorized material with the extra protection for the separate fill for the type of the layer for the article of the package shipping the separated solid fiberboard P for the slide with the interlock with the assembled the two form and the number of the cell with the article to be played for the shipment apply with the any several the layer for the solid fiberboard puncture strap for the strength of the material and inches out to the per with the tear with the measure with the beach puncture test section 3 note 1B. Seam the junction created with the free edge of the container flat with the wall with the wood above for the rest and now with the portion of the container which may be fat for the tape of the switch for the heave and profit of the closing the container shell. A sheet of the corrugated with solid fiberboard score with the formally to form a jointed unjointed and tube open with both ends. With the shipping container with sufficiently strong to be used the commercial packaging store with the shipping combined with the solid fiberboard with the shipping the solid board made with the laminating two more ply with the counterboard. Water resistant board that to be the water resistant it shall be sized sheet with the tree with the water repellent material so it will have the degree of the resistance damage deterioration from the water. Weighting of the face. Minimum combined corrugated fiberboard. Assumption of the weight per the 1,000 square feet of the all facing board structure. Seam of the weight of the coating to the impregnance exclusion of the weight of the corrugated member. Medium of the corrugation adhesive. All right, 42 shipping documents and invoices, etc. Reshipping documents involve the manifest daily sheet of the packing lift of some of the operating instruction with the X-ray photograph may be forward the packaging containing the article of shipping rating applied with the such article such involved with the containing shipping documents relating to article of the carload may be included with additional charge. All right, 43, contracts with men in charge of shipping. When the connection with the individual term provision with the transportation of the mail adult with the tenant with the container with the same with the with without charge with the carriage that is provided with the such item such item with the may execute with the following contract before the contract with the transportation shipment with the issue with the attendant with the referee with the execute with the contract will be not except for the transportation if the individual tariff will require with the shipment the company with the attendant will not be accepted with the transportation separate contract with the man or man with the exchange with the property with the station number description of the property initial with the number of the car locomotive from and the origin to the destination consideration of the carriage signed up on the freight train with the vessel with the train with the property mentioned above the web with the without the charges such for the carriage either will of the undersigned separately hereby voluntarily assume all the risk of accident damage of the personal property, hereby relieve any of the discharge of each of the every carrier of every client liability depending on any of the kind of the account of the carrier and its employee with agree whenever they shall leave the return of the station of the train with the pass over the lawn with the car of the track shall do as his own personal injury own risk of the personal injury except where the negligence care of the proximity cover there the no carrier shall be required to stop or start its train from one station from the station of the platform insurance light with accommodation safety there no carrier that shall be liable to undersigned personal representative left the undersigned shall for the 30th day but the inquiry with the personal representative of the case of the death of the shall 9 days after the injury cover the death to give no honor to the claim and the written with the general manager of the claim agent and the carrier on whose line the accident occurred witness and signature of the man in charge. 44. Method of canceling items. The classification supplemented the number with the letters cancel with the corresponding with the number of the original classification prior. Supplement letter suffix will be with the alphabetical sequence starting with A. The items 4,000 A with the cancel for item 4,000. 36,000 B cancel 36,000 A in the prior supplement in which turn cancel 36,000. Item 36,000. All right. 45. Advertising. Advertising man with the advertising sign the shop of the display with the racks or stand with the script of the provided with the note 1 and 2, note 1 and 3. The version of the material with the described with the general heading with the diverse material advertising material classification advertising sign with the other figure with the image of the show with the display with the racks maybe the ship with the good advertising with the display with the rate of the flying with the such good. With the same packet with the same with the good with the same with the card provided with the amount with the stuff with the advertising material with the advertising sign with the sum of the display rack same with the design scheme with the 10 inch with the gross weight with the pound with the except for the chart with the except for the CL minimum weight such for the advertising material with the advertising sign with the short display with the stand with approximately 9% of the car load minimum weight and a quantity thereby you make up with the car load minimum weight with the advisory and limited material matter of the advertising sign. Store display rack standing exceed with 10% with the growth of the weight of the goods in the package for the 10% with the car load weight minimum weight with the case of the mesh should be excessive with the chart with the rate with the as supply and such. Advertising matter, advertising sign store display racks and stand with the description weight of the advertising materials must be shown by shipping shippers on the shipping order for the bills of the landing note 2. Premiums with the articles. Not exceed with the one with the premium may be played for each of the bowls. See note 3 with the inner packet with the commodity with the premium. The package may be filled with the commodity with the include with the shipping container with the more of the one premium. Inner packet with the commodity may be included with the same container. Except for the carloads not exceed with the one premium and the inner packet with the bulk package with the commodity with the premium value with the not except for the total exchange with the value over the coupons not in package with the commodity to be shipped and separately with the shipping container with the authorized with the premium rate to be charged with the same as the over the provided the same articles made in the same manner without premium. The premium is also include the monetary coins of the not exceeding the 25% of the inner container of the shipper may serve for the shipping order billing link on the premium articles shipped and see note 2 with the note 1 paragraph 8 with the does not apply on figures image of the certificate gift the article with the signs electron neon stationary. Alright, note 2, through the air of the ship, the certification shipping order of the bill of landing is made with the carrier with the substantial proof of the package for the adversing material with the adversing signs with the store the display with the racks with the standing with the premium refund the increase with the charge with the issue with the due the store air with the low with the lower charge resolve with the application rule 10 rule 12 with the section 3 with the under provisions of the rule with the apply with rule 10 and 12 with the section 3 with the case below with the chinaware, earthen glassware, pottery with the other fragile articles must be enclosed with articles shipped in bags out of the containers. Alright, Rule 46. Use the words and or rate in parentheses in indication. Explanation for the words and or with the parentheses with the and you with a couple of the terms between they appear with the or with the alternation for the either or both of the terms below between they appear with the name of the article with the appearing with the parentheses with the accounts for the another description of the identical article with the article immediately preceding with the parentheses. Explanation for the indentation when any part of the description of the article is found set away from the left of the margin proposed of the subordinate with the text perceived with the description of the read of the context, particularly with the perceived the heading with the effect of the position upon of the meaning with the description should be carefully observed. The term rate is used with the classification mean with the specific figure published with the freight tariff of the class money to be used with the computing and show of the properly just short and transported. Reference into the tariffs, items, and notes and rules section of Rule 48. With a reference made with the classification tariff of the items, note with the rule for the such for the reference or for the continue with the include with the supplement into the except the items such for the tariff, the reissue with the such item, the notes and rules, etc. When the reference is made with the classification to another the tariff, such for the reference applied with the such for the tariff to the extent of the applicable the intrastate traffic to and from the through Canada. Alright, Rule 49. We're going to cut the tape.